Okay, I'm gonna admit that I love hints and I love interlacing and I love how you interlace a lot of stuff in your stories. But I have to ask, what prompted you to interlace like Skin and Black, Red, White with the Lost Books and Showdown and all the others?
What I wanted to do with Skin and the Lost Books is to write independent stories that are connected into the other books just because it's fun. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a trip. It really is. It's like, oh, cool. And I'll tell you what, I remember one time talking to somebody, this is a short answer. I was talking to somebody and she said, her mother, and she said her son got an ARC, which is an advanced reader, and they were at a convention somewhere, and he got it, and he was up reading it all night, and about 3 o'clock in the morning he goes, oh, cool! He goes, what? Oh, and it was one of these connections. I think it was in Skin. Oh, yeah. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, for the rest of them, that's okay if they don't see it, but for those who catch it, it's cool.
Yeah.
So last year at the gathering, we talked a lot about the co-writing of House with Frank Peretti. Can you tell us a little bit about writing Kiss with Aaron Healy and writing Lunatic and Elion?
Well, that's big. I can't do a short answer there. But Lunatic and Elion, I'll cover later. With Kiss with Aaron was a total joy. Because, I mean, Aaron and I worked together for many years, actually. She was my editor. And the first book of mine that she edited was Blink, actually. So that goes back a ways. And so she understands my story form very well, and I, of course, understand the way she thinks very well. So she had never actually written a novel. But she's a very good mind when it comes to crafting a story. So we kind of started from scratch with her, and we built this story. She wrote the rough. Once we'd fashioned the entire story, she wrote the rough draft. Okay, because I wanted that female voice in there. And then I took that, that was the first month. 9 more months followed. Not quite. But I mean, and then the process was just back and forth, just hammering. And it was really a cool experience, a lot of work. Much easier to write it by myself, to be honest with you. But it was fascinating because it brought to the novel something I couldn't do by myself. I mean, this is a true co-authorship. You know what I'm saying? We both brought something very integral to the writing, to the novel, to the story, to what you read. And it's different from any other book that has my name on it because of that. So, Lunatic and Elion later.
Hey, I came from Canada to ask you this question. I'm also an aspiring novelist, so I want to know, not only do the protagonists come from you, or not only are they your journey, but you have to come up with like the Commandant from Obsession and Eve from Adam. And I'm wondering, like, I know you said a little bit about research, but where do you go? Like, how do you find that darkness and connect to it in a way that makes those characters as fully fleshed out as a protagonist who takes the journey with you?
Yeah, great question. How do you connect to your evil characters? I mean, short answer. You connect your connecting to your evil characters is the easiest thing to do, because you were still a sinner full of that when you were rescued. How about the rest of you?
Yeah.
You guys have any who here doesn't have a pretty clear understanding of their own evil nature? Any Puritans here? Okay, good. We're in the right room. So, connecting with that is actually very easy. Now, doing the research is very simple. You go to the internet, you start checking it out. But in terms of connecting with that, actually, if you've been through, any experience, you have to have been through experience where you really struggled with events where Satan, the enemy, has tried to crush you, whether that be through death, whether, this is one reason, this is one place where experience actually does really help a writer. Dean Koontz once said it's very difficult for a person who's under 40 to really write a novel worth a darn because they haven't experienced enough. But that's not true. It's true in principle, but there's a lot of young writers that really, today, have experienced a lot by the time they're 20, and they really can write very, very well. It's just a matter of connecting with what you already know. The harder part is writing about the redemption, which is something most novelists avoid entirely. You know what I'm saying? Very few people really can write about that redemptive strain that pulls us out of evil. They either want to just write about that and not have the evil, or they just write about evil and sell it to the secular world. But to write both in the same novel, very difficult. That is the challenge.
With you being in the limelight and sharing your personal story of salvation, how do you keep grounded and accountable spiritually and personally?
In the exact same way you do. Okay, which is through a very strong church body. Now, it's really difficult, I know, because this last year we moved to Austin. Or it's been 2 years now, or a year and a half. And
Somewhere in there.
Whatever. It's been 3 novels. But it's really been a struggle for me this last year and a half. I mean, I love Austin. I love, the friends we've met and da-da-da-da-da. But man, that support structure has just vanished. I had to start from scratch. And I figured it takes more than a year and a half to really build it. Lots of stuff on the internet, lots of stuff, da-da-da. But I mean, that stuff, those people, that community there now, where you can touch, it just takes so much time. So I'm learning now how important that is. Of course, there's all the things that we grow up with. There's church, worship, immersing yourself in the Word of God, either through teachers or through the Bible. For me, storytelling itself. But the internet, that personal relationship is I'm honestly right now, it's been that I miss that. And as a storyteller, okay, I mean this is raw and raw. Someone who spends so much time alone, it's really hard to build those kind of